friends, welcome back to Food Prep Guide. What if I told you that there was a way to make your blueberries last 3 weeks in the fridge instead of 3 days? And you only need one simple ingredient, but it's something that most people haven't heard of, at least when it comes to food storage. It's called hydrogen peroxide, food grade, and this method will probably change the way that you store berries in your fridge from this day forward. Let me show how it works. We've all experienced it, I'm sure. You buy those expensive blueberries, put them in the fridge, and within days, they are growing fuzzy white mold. It is frustrating and wasteful. Most people think this is normal, but really it's just common, and those are two different things. Here's what's happening to those berries behind the scenes. Berries arrive at the grocery store or even picked straight off your plants with invisible bacteria and mold spores already on their surface. When you put them in your fridge, the fridge's moisture levels creates the perfect breeding ground for the mold growth. But thankfully, food-grade hydrogen peroxide breaks this cycle. Unlike regular hydrogen peroxide from the pharmacy, food-grade hydrogen peroxide is safe for food contact. It kills bacteria and mold spores without leaving harmful residues. That's because the food-grade version breaks down into just water and oxygen, whereas drugstore peroxide has additives. So we don't want to use this stuff, but the additive-free version means no chemical residues and therefore no weird aftertaste. Here's exactly what you'll need. Food-grade hydrogen peroxide. We'll talk about concentrations in just a minute. A medium to large size bowl filled about 3/4 of the way with clean water, a fine mesh strainer, and paper towels or reusable paper towels like these. I'll have these linked down in the description box along with the peroxide. Now before we talk about ratios, let's talk about safety. Food grade hydrogen peroxide comes in many different concentrations, 3%, 6%, 12%, and even all the way up to 35%, I believe. If you buy any concentration higher than 3%, it can really harm your skin if you come into direct contact with it. You need to dilute it down to 3% first. Here's the math. For 12% hydrogen peroxide, mix 1 part peroxide with 3 parts water. So I have a quart jar here with 3 cups of water in it. I'm going to add 1 cup of 12% peroxide, which will give me a total of 4 cups of 3% solution. If you go ahead and buy the 3% solution, you don't even have to worry about this, and that's the variety that I'll link below. Once you have your 3% food grade hydrogen peroxide, whether you bought it that way or diluted it yourself, you're going to make your produce soak at a ratio of 1 part hydrogen peroxide to 10 parts water. And really all that means is that you're going to use way more water than you do peroxide. For a bowl about this size, I'm going to use 1/2 cup of peroxide solution. You want to soak your berries for 2 minutes and no longer. The hydrogen peroxide needs just enough time to neutralize surface contaminants without affecting the berry structure. Now this is where most people mess up. They soak their berries, drain them, and then put them in a container in their fridge. But if you want your berries to last as long as 3 weeks, don't do that. Instead, after rinsing with clean water, your berries need to be completely dry before storage. Any remaining moisture will just make your berries go bad faster. I let mine air dry for at least 30 minutes on a towel and then gently patting them with that clean towel. Once they're dry, you can store them in a container lined with paper towels. The towels absorb any remaining moisture and keep your berries in ideal condition. I like using my reusable paper towels for these, and I'll have them linked in the description box. At this point, you can store in the fridge for up to 3 weeks and not have to worry about moldy berries. And that's it, y'all. Really is that simple. If this has saved you from throwing away expensive berries, please consider hitting that like button. It really helps us here on the platform. That's all for today, and we'll see you next time. Bye!